Men's 5,000 meter results have not been posted as official yet, so we have no updated team score. Hope to have that by the end of the night. Meantime, we get ready for this women's 5,000 meter final. As you look at the field assembled, Silan Ayyildiz of Oregon, one of the big names in this field. You see her there, middle of the picture, wearing bib 421 and hip number 8. Set a new collegiate indoor mile record and has now moved up in distance here to try to help Oregon score some points here at 5,000 meters. Monica Thompson, also a senior for the Ducks, there, hip number 5. Ellie Weimer of Minnesota, wearing hip number 9. Talented cross-country standout for the Gophers as well as on the track. As we are underway with the women's 5,000 meter final here in Indianapolis. And we'll see how this early pacing plays out on the women's side here at 5,000 meters. Collegiate leader, of course, is Doris Lemengor. In fact, the top 5 times rather, all from a race at Boston University back in early December. Hilda Olamomoy of Florida among that group as well. You have to go down a bit to find a Big Ten scorer on that list, and that's Florence Caron, who is in this race. The Penn Stater raced in the Valentine Invitation around 15:25.83. That is below the meet record set back in 2017. Allie Bainbridge of Nebraska is going to get out and try to get out in front of this group and will set the early pace as we're 2 laps into this women's 5,000 meter final. Again, the DMRs will close out the day at the conclusion of this race. I would say at this point we're just an ever bit slightly behind schedule, but given that this event started at 10 a.m. local time and we're now just past the 8 o'clock hour, pretty remarkable, and a credit to the meet management for keeping this thing, for the most part, on time. So Bainbridge, Caron, Hines, Coates, Ruley, Ayyildiz, Turney, and Thompson. And right in front of them, you see a clearance in the women's pole vault as Hannah Moll clears 15.725 after her sister Amanda cleared on a second attempt at 15.3.5. And, you know, that is what we see day in and day out with the Moll sisters, 2 of the best pole vaulters in American history, as they battle for the title here at the Big Ten Indoor Championships. So here's Bainbridge, and now a challenge for the lead. Caitlin Hines moving up on the outside. And Hines ever so slightly moving to the lead. Florence Caron is now into second as things start to pick up just a little bit here. as they move through the first 1,000 meters in 3:18.61. That's why they come down the front straightaway. Even though we saw it in the picture, let's go back and look at Hannah Moll's clearance in the women's pole vault competition as she sets another meet record. We'll get to that here in a moment. There, we bring it into the 2 box. As Moll, 15.7 1/4. And still with plenty of room over the bar. And another look at it from closer to the box, and does not really give that bar much of a touch. A little bit of flex on it. Ayyildiz to put the arms up to try to get out of harm's way as she gets out of traffic and up and around and into 4th position here as this women's 5,000 meters moves through the 1,400 meter mark. You see the last lap in 38:33. Karen, Ruley, Ayyildiz, Bainbridge, Thompson, all behind Caitlin Hines, the junior from Michigan State. Everyone's still racing in that lead pack, though. Rose Coates making a move up a little bit now into 4th position. The sophomore from Minnesota now challenging for 3rd. Monica Thompson of Oregon moving up on the outside. She's going to challenge up into 3rd position. And now right alongside and battling for 2nd with Perron. Ayyildiz in 6th. Shea Ruley tucked on the inside there, hit 13 in the Wisconsin Badger singlet right next to Thompson. 1,800 meters in 5:52.30. Last lap 38.87. Pretty much 38-second laps here for the last 3 trips around the oval in Indy. Fiona McLaughlin of Wisconsin has moved up into 6th position. You can see some hands being placed on the backs of folks, and that's sometimes when the pace up front kind of slows quickly, and you can see the result of it now is that everyone's not on the rail as we're almost all the way out into lane 3 in the racing here. Juliette Cherivet of Oregon was the one out there in 3. She's been steadily moving herself up in the pack. She's about midway there, call it about 10th position, still out in lane 2. With Hines, Perron, and Coates. Ruley in 4th on the rail. Thompson behind her. Ayyildiz still in the mix, back at about 8th position. They came through 2,000 meters in 6:32.84. 2,200 meters in 7:12.90 for a last lap split, as you see it now on the screen, of 40.07. But Hines continues to control this race at the front, and Karen just happy to be there right behind. Coates running that line in between lane 1 and 2. 2,400 meters, sub 40 lap on that last one, 39.45. Athletes benefit from that scoreboard just adjacent to the top of turn 2 as they can immediately see the split and the lap pace as they try to keep in mind their own individual race plans. We saw Bob Liking make a big move in the latter stages of the men's race, only to be overtaken by Connor Burns, who eventually won that men's 5,000 meters. Here comes Hines to the line. 2,600 meters, halfway and more home to a Big Ten indoor title. Heron's still there with Coates, Ruley, Thompson, Bainbridge, McLaughlin, and Ayyildiz. Ayyildiz trying to just stay out of harm's way, and again some more pushing and shoving back there in about 9th, 10th position. A lot more leeway with the pushing and shoving in indoor track and field, given the shorter distance and the closer proximity to the athlete. Cherubet of Oregon now moving up on the outside in lane 2 as they begin to string out again as they're going to insert some pacer. In fact, went from 39.19 on the previous lap, 37.82, and another almost fall by Rose Coates, who almost went down. And Ayyildiz now with the lead for Oregon. Thompson in second. Caron and Cherubet as Oregon has suddenly managed its way up into the top 4 with 3 of their runners thinking about maximizing their points here in the 5,000 meters. 37.63 on that last lap as the collegiate record holder in the mile leads this race now through 3,000 meters in 9:47.68. And if you remember, just 2 laps ago, this group was all together. Now we've got what looks like 3 pods, maybe 4 pods of runners. This lead group of 5, a chase pack of another 5. But Ayyildiz is now clicking off the sub-38-second laps and trying to make it painful for the group behind him. Annika Thompson, who's a local product just north of Eugene, competing as a senior for the Ducks, running well here in second position. Cherubet back in 5th for the Ducks. And they come to line with 8 laps to go. .38 seconds and change on that last lap. So as they come down the main straightaway, Ayyildiz still with the lead. Thompson there in second. Caron in third. In the meantime, more vaulting extravagance by the Mole sisters as Hannah and Amanda challenge the bar at 15.9 1/4. That was Hannah. Here is Amanda. And a double dose of clearances on first attempts. So the bar moving up again to 15.11 1/4. As the meet record has been shattered here in the women's pole vault. But now the focus of attention is on the final laps here in the women's 5,000 meters. And Juliet Cherubet has taken to the lead. Oregon first, second, and third. Heron of Penn State and McLaughlin of Wisconsin. Oregon picked up 4 points in the pentathlon. Iowa leads after that first event with 11 points on the women's side. Still that women's long jump and that women's weight throw and that women's pole vault to be added to the scores today. Washington, of course, going to get the top 2 finishes and placings in that pole vault. And this is a big moment for Oregon's team fortunes as Cherubet on the backstretch came through 4,000 meters in 12:58.45. Last 800 meters of this 5,000 meters, 37-37 as they just start to turn the screws. And falling off the back now is McLaughlin of Wisconsin. Can't hold the pace. Karen, who had the fastest time in the Big Ten this year, now she's going to start to put in some pace and going to challenge Thompson and going to fight into third position. Chariabet, Ayyildiz, Karen, and now Thompson trying to fight back. And Karen fights her away, and so Thompson stays there, and now Karen to the lead. So 3 Oregon Ducks here battling Karen from Penn State. And Karen looking down the main straightaway, and Oregon just coming after her with 3 of their best. And the collegiate record holder in the mile, Ayyildiz, has moved back into the lead with 2 laps to go. 37-13 on that last lap. Thompson in second, Chariabet in third. And Karen now starting to lose and starting to look behind her, as she may feel like she's not going to be in the mix here in this final lap. Still trying to turn the wheels there is Karen, and to try to get back into it. But Ayyildiz, Chariabet, and Thompson. Bell lap here in Indianapolis. Oregon trying to sweep the top 3 places at 5,000 meters. After a win by Connor Burns in the men's 5,000, Oregon trying to also sweep the 5,000 meters, men and women. And the team, coached by Shalane Flanagan and Jeremy Schumacher, there's a little bit of competition at the end there as Chariabet challenges Ayyildiz at the end for the win. But the Oregon Ducks go 1, 2, and 3 in sweeping the women's 5,000 here at the Big Ten Indoor Championships. Karen would finish in 4th, and Shea Ruley of Wisconsin finishing in 5th. Well, a great effort by the Oregon women here. In putting together a fabulous end result for their efforts in this 5,000 meters. And a big point total as they sweep the women's 5,000 meters. Meantime, they're going for a collegiate record over in the pole vault of 16.1 1/4. As Hannah and Amanda Mole, and we'll get back to coverage of that if we can, or at least show you replays of that as well. As we see the final results in the women's 5,000 meters, Oregon with